Greetings, Sequoia Council Scouters, and welcome to the March Roundtable Recap. I hope everyone had a good winter and was able to participate in some of the great activities that were held at camp. With warmer weather and relaxation of restrictions on gathering coming soon, scouting events are going to want to get outdoors and enjoy the wonderful resources. This is the perfect time to remind you of the importance of proper adult supervision for all scouting activities. This month's safety moment is about a case where the requirements weren't followed. Tragedy struck our scouting family on October 13, 2018, when Nolan Henderson, a 16-year-old Star Scout, was fatally injured while hiking and bouldering with his troop on Maiden Peak in Cascade Range of Central Oregon. An adult leader had started the hike with the youth. When younger youth wished to turn around, the leader returned to base camp as well. Nolan and the remaining youth were allowed to continue up to the peak without adult supervision. When one of those youth got stuck during the ascent, Nolan went to his aid. After he scaled the sheer face of the peak to help the other scout to safety, a handhold gave way and Nolan tragically fell to his death. Scouting's 2 deep adult supervision requirements, which exist both to prevent abuse and to safeguard against tragedies like these, were not followed. Adults must supervise youth activities. 2 deep adult supervision by registered adult leaders 21 years of age or over are required for all scouting activities, and this includes patrol activities. These enhanced requirements have been in effect since October 2018. Parents expect and demand that every activity is supervised by adults who help guide good decisions during an outing. The climb should have ceased when the adult supervisor went back to base camp. In addition, climb-on safety protocols, supervision, instruction, equipment, and an established safe area were not in place for a climb or bouldering in this area. You can find this safety moment on the scouting.org site as Fatal Fall, Nolan's Story. We'll provide a link in the recap email. You may want to share this safety moment before your next outing. We'll also provide a link to a BSA handout that uses the acronym SAFE to help you conduct activities safely. S for supervision, A for assessment, F for fitness and skill, and E for equipment and environment. I urge you to take a look at this handout and make sure you're following all the requirements in order to conduct safe activities. For this month's hot topic, I have a few items of interest to mention. First, there's been a change in the My.Scouting menu structure. The areas that were previously named Member Manager and Organization Manager have been gathered under a new menu item called Roster. Here's where you can see your unit roster and create various reports. Next, we want to let you know about tools available for online registration. Did you know that new youth and adult members can register online and complete the process without any paperwork? The best way to learn more about this process is to visit the resource page by going to www.scouting.org and selecting Scouting Resources from the main menu, and then selecting Online Registration Guidebook. This page has tons of resources that explain the full process. Finally, as you're probably aware, a new Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Eagle Required Merit Badge was announced last year and was scheduled to be active this month. After receiving feedback from councils on the draft requirements, the release has been delayed. All scouts currently working on Eagle should continue to use the current requirements. When the new badge is released, scouts in the process of earning the Eagle will be given adequate time to earn it. At this time, I'll turn things over to Council Program Director Luke McNeese for some important program updates.
Thanks, Bob. A handful of updates going on in the scouting world. As spring starts to pick up, things are going to get moving quickly, and there's a lot of scouting that's getting ready to happen over the next couple months, and we've got to continue to get summer camp on our minds. So speaking of summer camp, we've got the first payment for Camp Davy Crockett coming up on March 15th. So that's a $100 per person payment. That would be in addition to your $25 deposit that most of our troops have. Week 2 is already closed for for new reservations at Camp Davy Crockett, and weeks 1 and 3 are filling up quickly. There's a pre-camp leader meeting for camp. This is something new this year. A lot of things of the way that we've done camp in the past, COVID-19 has impacted some of those things, and we've got a new little building on camp where we're going to serve some food out of this summer that we want to talk about what eating looks like and what the dining hall experience looks like for your troop. So your senior patrol leader or a youth leader from your troop and your unit and any of your unit leaders are invited to come in person on March 20th to Camp Davy Crockett, or you can join with us virtually on March 18th. Registration is now live for our National Youth Leadership Training Experience. So that's going to be held at Camp Davy Crockett June 4th through the 6th and June 11th through the 13th. So it's been about 5 or 6 years since we've been able to offer this program to the Scouts of the Sequoia Council. And so the objective of this program is to introduce youth and really demonstrate and guide youth on the ability of running a scout-led troop. So this program is open to men and women who are at least 13 and who are first class as of March 1st. So as we're recording this message today. So we'd love to have a handful of scouts from each one of our troops at NYLT this summer. The early bird discount for that event ends on April 1st. So get signed up for that experience today. So capacity for that event is limited to 30 scouts. So we're going to be running 5 patrols of 6 scouts each at that event. The early bird discount for the Sequoia Council Jamboree, which is going to be held April 30th through May 2nd, comes up the next week on March 24th. And so that's when if you want to lock in that early bird discount, you need to register by that date. Some of the activities that we'll be distributing signups for at our roundtables this week, or if your unit or you as an individual want to host a merit badge at our merit badge Midway or our Adventure Loop Center for our Cub Scouts, you're able to do that, as well as any unit activities or booths that your units may have previously hosted at the Scout Expo that may translate well to camp. So coming up in the month of March, we'll also on March 20th, we'll have a Trainer's Edge training at Camp Davy Crockett. We'd love to have you at that event. A couple other trainings that are coming up, a BALOO, a basic adult leader outdoor orientation, is happening May 14th at Camp Davy Crockett. And later in the month of May, we're going to be having our Top Shot Shooting Sports Weekend. So that event has a limited capacity, and we'll see who the top shot in the disciplines of rifle, shotgun, archery, and much more. All of the Eagle Scouts of the Sequoia Council should have received a mailing in the past couple of weeks regarding joining the Sequoia Council Eagle Scout Association, and with a little bit of information about our gathering of Eagles May 28th. So if you're connected to any Eagle Scouts, make sure they got that mailing, and if they haven't, let me know and I can get them that information. We're looking to really engage our Eagle Scouts as we continue to grow what we do in the Sequoia Council. So moving into Cub Scout camping. So it's an exciting time for Cub Scout camping in the Sequoia Council. So we've got 3 big opportunities for families and Cub Scouts to participate in Cub Scout camping this coming summer. So we're going to have family camps. So those family camps are open to anybody who's connected to our scouting family. They or potential scouts. They're welcome to come to our family camps. We'll be offering those monthly in May, June, July, and August down at Camp Davy Crockett. So there's no food service provided those weekends. There's no schedule for that weekend. There'll be a couple program areas open during the family camps, but very low pressure that weekend. So that's a great opportunity for a pack to facilitate that as a pack camp out, but at Camp Davy Crockett to take care of some of those advantages or resources we have available at camp. So our pinnacle Cub Scout experiences is what we're going to calling our adventure camps. So in the past, we've offered great Webelos adventure camps, but those have just been available to Webelos. So we're extending, we're offering a different weekend that's targeted towards Cub Scouts. So targeted towards rising wolves and bears. So you all, the wolves and bears will go to Cub Scout adventure camp, and the Webelos the Rising Weeblos and Arrow of Light Scouts will go to Weeblos Adventure Camp. So those are highly scheduled programs, highly advancement programs, food services provided at those weekends. So the Cub Scout Adventure Camp for the Wolves and Bears is a 3-day 2-night experience, and the Weeblos program is a 4-day 3-night experience. All that's happening at Camp Davy Crockett. Throughout the summer, in May and in June, July, and August, we're going to be having our Cub Scout outdoor activity series throughout our council. So we'll be hosting those instead of day camps this coming summer. So we'll have twilight programs during the day, programs during the week, weekend programs, kind of a mix to meet every family schedule. So we want to make sure that that if you can't make it down to Camp Davy Crockett, we can bring some Cub Scout activities to your community, and that we can visit some of our great assets that we have in the beautiful Sequoia Council. So we may be digging up dinosaur bones one weekend, we may be fishing one weekend, and we may be doing a what they call a Cub Mobile Derby. And I think that's actually booked in Rogersville. So more to come on that. We'll continue to publish that stuff. And then, so the best place to see everything that's coming up in the Sequoia Council is on our council website. So I'm going to switch over to sharing my screen real quick. And then I'm going to show you on the Sequoia Council website where to find these items. So if you go to sequoiacouncil.org and then you click on calendar, so you can always search by date. You can pull up the calendar. So it defaults to March. You can see the activities coming up in March. You can always click on any of these events. So there's 2 or 3 spots left for Merit Badge University. You can click on that. You can register for that right there. And then if you want to search for activities this upcoming November, that's where you would find that. So also inside this calendar section is where this video lives, the Roundtable recap. And then so the document that's downloaded that's distributed at Roundtable, as well as the video that's shot, is all provided on the Roundtable recap section. So flyers is a new section that we've added. And so that's where flyers for individual events are going to continue to be populated. So you see one for NYLT, one for Wood Badge, information on training and scout cards. So all this information is here. You can download it, send it out to your pack, share it on social media, whatever you want to do with that. That information is there for you. And then the Sequoia Sentinel is a monthly newsletter that goes out on the 1st of the month to all of our scouts and scouters. And so the Roundtable recap is targeted towards leaders, and the Sequoia Sentinel is targeted towards every member of our scouting family. So the Sequoia Sentinel is right now is scheduled to be printed in January and in July. So that's where the magnet came in. If you got the magnet towards the beginning of January. So we'll continue to support you as best we can through that information. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you in April. See you on the scouting trail.